What is up, y'all? So, gotta read my book. I definitely gotta read my book. So, I may make another video tonight. May make it in the morning. Don't know yet. But expect me to read that book. For shit sure. But, so I just had a conversation with my grandma. And it's a lot of things that really just stuck with me. But something I've been saying for a little minute now, like, we at a crossroads. Like, if you really look at the world for what it is, and not for what you think it is, not for what you want it to be. I'm talking about for what you know it to be, what it is. That's it. Don't add what shoulda, coulda, woulda, what if, all of those. No. You look at it for what it is. Like, I truly feel as though we're at a crossroads. And it is like, it's real. Realer than it's been in a long time. Like, I had this conversation. I think I had this conversation with Josh. I think I told him, like, we well overdue for a war. Like, I ain't wishing me speaking this. I am not speaking this stuff into existence. I'm looking at it all for what it is. Like, it's been 100 years since the Great Depression. Well, it's almost 100 years since then. But technically it is 100 years because it started in the early 1920s during the roaring 20s. But it's like we 100 years in the future from that point in time. Like, that was also like the Tulsa bombing massacre in 1921. 100 years. It's been 103 years since then. According to records, the Great Depression happened in 1929, but I don't believe that. I believe that's when it was recorded. I don't believe that's when it started, because everybody knows that stuff starts way before it's recorded. And I forgot when it was a war and stuff like that, but with all the chaos that's been happening and like how everything has been changing, like even with the pandemic, I feel like the pandemic was the start to something, but I don't feel like it was the thing that's supposed to happen this decade. Like, it was just like that you know how like you get to that push before the big thing happened. I feel like that's what COVID was, like that whole time period of the pandemic. I feel like it was like a push before a whole bunch of stuff started. And it was basically like something to prepare our minds for what's coming next. Like, because that's the thing about the Most High. The Most High teach you the lesson first before the storm hits, so that when the storm hits, you have the wisdom to use it properly. I mean, you know how to apply the wisdom properly. So I feel like that's what it all was. And like me, I ain't saying this to put fear or to like talk about how like conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Nah, could care less about those, because conspiracy is just a word. The theories are real because they came from somewhere. They ain't just come from nowhere. A lie is a well-written truth, or a truth where you beat around the bush. That's what a lie is. Lies have a lot of truth in them. They just don't have. It's like a puzzle mixed up, and you can't see it clearly, but it's a truth in there somewhere. And I'm a firm no in the fact, like, me and my grandma, we was just talking about the last of days. And like, that's what Bob Marley, his music was speaking about a lot. Like, chant down Babylon. Babylon is like America. Like where you have this big illusion that America is this amazing place. Yeah, we have a lot of amazing opportunities. We have a lot of amazing resources. But it's not an amazing place because it's not the head of it. It's not amazing. So it's like if the head is not amazing, the body can only do what the head allows because that's what the soul, that's how it's connected to the soul of it all. So it's like if the head is chaotic, then the body will be chaotic. And now all in those two will overpower the soul and make the soul chaotic. Like it's just like how like when you tap into your inner compass and you start getting in tune with the Most High, you see a lot of people start working on their bodies. They start working on their mind, and they start connecting with the Most High more because you can't work on the others without the other. You have to incorporate all three. If you're going to work on your mind, you have to work on your body. If you're going to work on your body, you have to work on your soul. If you're going to work on your soul, you have to work on your body and your mind. Like they all one and the same. And it's like if you focus too much on one, you're going to lose sight of the other two. If you focus too much on two of them, you're going to lose sight of the third one. Like it's a trinity for a reason. The reason why a triangle is a triangle because it's all equal sides. That makes it a whole. And it's like when you think of like the book of Revelations, how it was talking about the end of times and how everything was what it was. Like I truly believe that we are facing those times, as in like $7 for a bag of chips is insane. Okay, that's insane. A meal costs like $13 now. So that means a bag of chips is almost half the price of a meal. Like, come on now. Like, if we being for real. We being for, like, the way, like, the money system don't even work like that. So why is prices working like that? That's something to pay attention to. Pay attention to how Elon Musk, like, it's a Neuralink thing, right? They put it in your brain, and now your brain can do what's it called, telekinesis. Come on now, they using robots and stuff to study people so that you don't need people to work the jobs no more because you got the robots acting like people. So now the robot is as smart as people because all they do is study people. That's what these phones do. They study us. They collect all the data that they can on us. That's why it's a camera in the front and the back of our phones, so that they can see what's in front of it and they can see what's in back of it. They study us. Have you ever seen that movie about Edward Snowden? It's called Snowden, I believe. Snowden. Look up the name Edward Snowden. It's a banned movie in the United States. In the movie, this man, he found out that the government was using this technology where they used the cameras in our phones to watch us. And that's what they were using. That's his job, was to do that. And he said he felt bad. He felt a type of way about that. So he exposed it to the people. And it's like a whole bunch of stuff that happened like leading up to that. But it's real. Like that's a real movie. That movie was based on a true story. That's an actual man's life. And it's things like that that's happening in the world. Like, think about it. The same people that tell us these stories is the same people that control these stories. They tell us what they want us to know. They control the way we think. They do their best to put the propaganda in place to control the way we think, to control the way we think, control the way we think, control the way we see, how we perceive different things. Like social media, like, think about it though. Think about this. How do almost all social media platforms, the blogs and stuff, how do they get the same information around the same time? How do they get access to the same information around the same time? How are they all pushing the same agenda at the same exact time? That's a science to that. Like, all of this stuff, like, yeah, it's all follow the leader with a lot of stuff, but how? How do that work? it's a it's fate. It's all fated how it's supposed to be. It's a part of the last days. Like how, man, I don't even know how to explain this for real. Like, because the way I see it in my mind is different than the way it's coming out of my mouth. And it's so wild to me. I guess I ain't supposed to be talking about it as much as I want to. Because this intuitive person in front of you, mine is insane. My mind takes it though. Like, these are the conversations I have with myself in my head. A lot of people be like, why are you so quiet? Why are you so quiet? Because it's the conversation I'm having in my head while y'all sitting around talking about some shoes or some clothes that this person done dropped, that what this celebrity doing, what that celebrity doing. This is the conversations I'm having in my head. I want to know what NASA know about, like, how the solar activity is increasing. I want to know that. I want to know why Elon Musk is going to space. Why he's so hella bent on that space theory, and why he getting all of these industries about space. I want to know why he's making this neural link technology. I want to know why robots is studying people. I want to know these things because that tells you where we are in the times of life. Me caring about what I love Monique. I watch Monique. I advocate for everything that she advocates for when it comes down to how she's been treated. I love her for that. But I don't care what she's doing right now. I don't. Because it's not pushing me to where I need to go. It's not making me aware to what the world is doing right now. I could care less what Beyonce got going on right now. Unless Beyonce finna come help with Shayla Gammon, then I can't focus on what Beyonce got going on. Same with Krishan. Same with Blueface. Same with Jonathan Majors. Like, I can't wrap my life around their life. Me studying their life, paying attention to everything that they're doing, it has nothing to do with me. It's not going to help me progress. It's going to keep me distracted. And it's going to direct my perception on the world. And that's all I'm saying. Like, we have to take control of our minds again. We have to, like, realize, lock in with the Most High and define whatever that means for you. You ain't got to call it the Most High. You ain't got to call it God. You ain't got to call it Jesus. You ain't got to call it Allah. You ain't got to call it Buddha. You ain't got to call it whatever else other people call it. You don't have to even call it that. But what you do have to understand that everything has a purpose. Everything. And that's basic science principle. Everything has a purpose, even for the atheists. Like, everything has a purpose. You may not fully understand it, but everything is not meant to be understood when you want to understand it. Some things you have to take a leap of faith on in order to get the wisdom to understand it. Like, for instance, my relationship during the pandemic. If I didn't take that leap of faith and take a chance on what I thought love is, I wouldn't be able to know what love is not. I wouldn't be able to hold space for what I love. I wouldn't know what this wording means. I wouldn't know how to use these words. I wouldn't know how to communicate my love language. I wouldn't even be open-minded to the idea of being in a committed relationship. Like, if I didn't experience that, if I didn't go through that heartbreak, I wouldn't be this person that's talking right now. I had to go through that. I had to take that leap of faith and lean not on my own understanding. I had to have faith in the Most High and follow the plan in order to see it clearly and be able to come out stronger wiser. And that's all it is. Like, even how they say this, the last of days, like, it's a character building test where the strong will survive. When they say the last man standing, no, those who are meant to understand will understand. Those who are meant to be here will be here. Those that can will, and those that cannot will not. You have the have and you have the have-nots. It's about that distinction of what's light and what's dark, what's fueling and what's depriving. It's about coming to that understanding of that oneness of it all, about how it's all relative. So it's like the end of times is really the end of what we thought was relevant to what is relevant. Focusing on what the world is, not for what we feel it to be, not for what we think it to be, but what for we know it is. Like, I seen this movie called The Tomorrow War, and a lot of people did not believe in extraterrestrial until like a whole not baseball, it was soccer. A whole soccer game was stopped and a portal was open. It was some kids from the future, and they was come getting a whole bunch of adults to fight the war up in the future, because they needed to do that in order to save the human race. People say stuff is make believe until something like that happened. Those people in that movie, they was living the same life we was living. You could not tell them that this was the truth. Even after it happened, they did not want to believe it. But it was true. So all I'm saying, my key point in this whole message, things are not what they seem to be. Stop focusing on the things that, stop focusing on what you think stuff is, what you feel stuff is, and work on what you know it to be. The purpose in thinking something and feeling something is for you to gain knowledge on something, so you can pay attention to what you know it is. Just like how I said, it's a trinity. You have what you feel, what you think, and what you know. What you feel, what you think, and what you know. You can't just focus on what you feel. You can't just focus on what you think. You have to focus on them together so you can come to an understanding of what you know to be true. It's just that simple. So if you're here with me still and you understand this message, drop me a like. And if you love me, drop me a comment. Peace and love.